What's up, my friends? DK Curry here. It is episode 2. Fired up and excited for two dudes talking. Today, we're talking about the difference between recruiting and selling. So, straight up, plain and simple, guys, if we could show you a way to build a team of thousands of people without having to pitch friends and family, without having to feel like you're actually selling, and something that anybody could do. If that sounds like you and you'd want to learn that, make sure you watch this all the way till the end. Oh, also, while you're here, be sure to smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you get notified anytime we put out new content here on Two Dudes Talking. So great to have you guys here. Curry, I'm going to kick it right on over to you, man. Super excited about this topic because this is a real deal. I have people that ask me all the time, what am I selling? And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about selling or recruiting, and is there a difference, what the difference is, and how do people kind of decipher this whole thing that we're talking about here?
I love this topic. In this industry, you get a lot of the excuse. The first excuse you hear is that I'm not good at selling stuff.
Oh,
I'm
yep.
not good at selling. I'm not
Uh-huh.
selling. And what one of the wildest things is that I found out in this specific niche market, network marketing, you're not selling anything. You
Hmm.
typically, even if you have a physical product that you got to invite somebody to see, the money isn't made in selling products.
Nope.
It'll never be made. You can sell. As a matter of fact, let's just put this disclaimer out. You can be the greatest salesperson on the planet, and your financial income in this industry will die if you aren't duplicating.
Yeah.
You will die. You
Yep.
cannot be full-time sales guy in network marketing. They didn't build the compensation plan that way.
Yeah. It's funny. It takes me back to my first network marketing company where people would hold up a product. I'm looking for two product testers. Oh my God,
Oh
I
yeah,
hated
there's
that.
I like it's the only two. That's it. We ain't working with anybody else. It's just the next two people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You need to be recruiting hundreds of people because and I don't want to go too deep too early, but the Pareto principle exists in all things.
Hmm.
So I know now in my journey that every time that I've in the last at least 5, 6 years, um, every time I've had to relaunch my business, I have the vision of 100 people first. Like
Yeah.
I need to put 100 people front line so that I can find 20 people who will do something,
Yeah.
duplicate. Because some of these people believe that they can go slow in this game and they're going to go, I'm going to recruit one person a month.
Yeah.
And you get to about 10 and maybe you got two people duplicating, but that's 10 months to find two people who might actually learn to do this with you. And so the game has to be building depth in your compensation plan, regardless of whatever compensation plan model it is.
Hmm.
The money is made in duplicatable depth of recruitment, not sales.
Yeah. And you had mentioned this last week too, where most people aren't envisioning the long-term cascading effect of duplication. It's, everything's based on short-term instant results, how much money can I make right now versus looking at 6, 12, 18, 24 months out from now, building down into the comp plan. And it's funny you had first mentioned this topic to me, like the instant first surface level thing that comes to mind for me is, when you think about selling versus recruiting, you know, you're not, let's get this out of the way right from day one, right from jump right now is we're not selling. This is not 1985 Amway where you're doing a product demo in someone's house and you're like, let me show you how this water bottle works. See, it's got this top that you open up. Like you don't have to do that type of stuff. You're not selling. You're either sharing or you're inviting. And that's, I've heard you over years use the term invite. you're inviting people to a meeting, inviting people to a presentation, you're inviting people to watch something, inviting people to take a look at something. Like you're inviting. Um, I just see it as sharing.
Sure.
And that's, kind of what I share down with my team is you're sharing. You're sharing your affiliate link, also known as a video that they could watch. You're sharing. You
Resource.
you get good at sharing. That's the first surface level thing that we can talk about, or that comes to mind when I think about this. And the other thing is in the world, and I kind of learned this and kind of ran with it a little bit over the years, where it's like marketing anything, anything, and you see this on the news, you see this in commercials, you see this all over the world, billboards, whatever. Like marketing is literally just formulas. That's it. Like we learned it from Eric Worre, right? If I would you. And then when you learn basic formulas, the inviting or the sharing becomes so much easier. And if you guys missed it at the very beginning of this video, I used a formula, and I'll actually give you the formula right now. Hook, build up, present value, call to action. Once you learn those formulas, like if I said, hey, if you'd like to learn how to build a team of thousands and be able to do this without pitching friends and family, hook, build up, right? It's just formulas. Once you learn basic skill sets of how to invite, how to share, duplication becomes easier. Would you say that's a fair statement, Curry?
Absolutely, because once you have the formula, you share the formula. And so
That's
you
it. Yeah.
duplicate the results.
Yeah.
And once you become fully aware, and it takes time. I gotta say this, and I said this in a live just the other day. It's funny to me that there are degree holders who get involved in network marketing and have never done network marketing before and seem to believe that their current intelligent state is going to carry them to success immediately because they're already smart. They're already, I got this under my belt. I've been doing this for years. But network marketing is different. And
Mhm.
it's like if you don't come into this with like a 40-year degree mentality, and we'll just say in almost any opportunity out there, that the compensation plan is designed so that it takes potentially for an average person 3 to 5 years to get to the top rank of the company. Let's
Mhm.
just That's a balance. That's a balance. The average person doesn't know how to recruit, doesn't know how to duplicate, doesn't know how to motivate their team or develop teams. They don't know how to find and build leaders. They're not attracting people on social media the correct way. They're out here blasting everybody. And so it took me a while. It took me a while because I had to break me. Like a lot of my
Mhm.
bad habits, a lot of my personality, a lot of my stuff, I had to break me. And now it's just a wild like if like I said, for me it's like it's a you mentioned Eric Worre. I truly understand the plane on the runway analogy. Like it is
Yeah.
my, but a lot of people have to develop into that awareness. So in the first year of your journey, you might be just out here selling and pitching and practice talking too much and saying all the wrong things. And you're not you do have to develop into the recruiter until you understand you're the HR department and not the sales department.
Mhm. I think it's sometimes funny. Like there's I don't know if you want to call it a stigma or whatever it is, but there's kind of like a negative outlook when people, and this we could just go down a whole can of worms. I don't know if I want to open the can all the way up here, but when you think about, recruiting, I think people instantly, like the default setting that most people have, especially people that are maybe in like their 30s, 40s, 50s and above, it's, they have that pyramid scheme, MLM, Amway mentality of like, I don't want to seem salesy. I don't want to pitch. I don't want to pitch friends and family. I don't want to, I don't want to get involved with something like that. That's not me type of thing. Versus like, you know, you're here on social media, you want to make money online. And that's why the whole people come to us, people show up watching my videos, my content, whatever. It's like because they want to learn this stuff. They want to learn how to make money online. And then when you tell them, hey, this is what you got to go do, they're like, well, I don't want to go do that. And I'm like, then how do you want to make money online, yo? Like,
Then quit.
what did you
Then
think
quit.
you were going to be doing? You just press a button and all of a sudden you just go, yo, I'm making millions, bro. Like, you gotta, if you want success making money online or having a successful home-based business, you got to do something. You got to get off your ass and you got to go do something. So, you know, the whole
By
cool
the
part
way,
about this is with what you do and what I do, like we give you the formula. We give you exactly what you got to go do. You just got to go do it. Like, and then, and then over time, you learn those skill sets, you get good, you practice those skill sets, those formulas, and you get good. And it really just all boils down to, and I think this could be a great segue, is it comes down to confidence. You either have the
okay,
confidence in your
yeah.
abilities to go do it or you don't.
By the way, go back to what you said about the stigma with recruiting. I will tell you from life experience, as a person who gets recruited almost daily on LinkedIn by professional recruiters for very, very specific roles, the reason people don't understand recruiting is that they've never offered value enough to the universe that anybody wants them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't, hopefully we didn't just ruin everybody, but the reality is that if you've been doing a basic job, you can be replaced by basic people all the time. If you're in working at a shoe store, you're working at a regular grocery store, or whatever, but your position doesn't mean you can't grow and develop into something else.
Yeah.
When you have professional skills, there are people whose only job in the universe is to recruit and steal you from other companies because you already have the skill set that they want to put in their business.
Mm-hmm.
So, recruiting is one of the greatest skill set finders. And I love that I've got a mentor. You're talking about people not working and not knowing what they want to do or not knowing how to do it or whatever. My one of my favorite mentors, father figure, Dale Calvert, taught me the most terrible, best business practice in network marketing. And he said the only reason to sponsor a person is to eliminate them as fast as possible. And
I mean, preach, like
when you know what your role is, and then you bring somebody into your team and you recruit them, and they are just a problem from the get-go. They
mm-hmm.
don't want to do anything. They don't want you. You, as the recruiter, have to manage time.
Yeah.
And if that person is a time vampire, let them just be. Just push them,
Yeah.
let them be. You just don't give them your time. But
I,
but that's we'll talk about time vampires on another later subject.
Oh
That's a
man,
good one.
I like chomping at the bit to jump in on that one, but I want to circle back to something you had mentioned earlier about the universe, and um, there's a great video out, like a phenomenal video out there, where Jim Carrey is doing the commencement speech for, I can't remember what university it is, and
That's a
he
good one.
has, it's like the most perfect phrasing in like 1 minute. But one of the things he specifically says in there is, if you don't ask the universe for it, how can you expect to achieve it? And I think people need to realize that, to circle back to selling versus recruiting, like if you don't go, and you hear this in network marketing all the time, ask for the sale. If you don't ask for what you want, like how the hell can you get it? You know what I mean? Like you don't just become rich by signing up. That's not doing the thing. Doing the thing is learning the skill sets and going out there and actually doing it and getting good at it and practicing it and asking for it. And I think when people have the realization of, once they get involved and they get inside and they see the guts and the meats and potatoes of how this whole thing works and what they actually have to do, they're like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that. Again, it comes down to confidence, and it comes down to their belief in their own abilities. And I think, like, I'm always I like to keep life simple type of guy. And, whether you're looking at formulas, you're looking at selling, you're looking at recruiting, however you like to decipher it for yourself, I always look at it as, how can I make this as simple to explain as possible? Confidence. Whatever it is that you're going to do, you have to have the confidence, the belief level in yourself that it's possible. And just like we mentioned last week when we had referenced Earl Nightingale and coming up with the number, and what is your number? If you can see and feel that number, you can achieve it. You just need the confidence now to go get it. And once you build that, and here's the cool part is, whatever it is, you can fix it. You can build it. You can grow it. You can develop it. You can do all those things if you want to, you know, or, again, I'll probably use this. I'll probably use this once an episode, Curry. Jim Rohn, right? If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll create an excuse, So
Every
it's like,
time.
do you want it? Yes. Okay, go do it. Do you not want it? No. Okay. And you had mentioned the time vampires. I have literally told people, hey, this is not a fit for you. Please email support and tell them you want to cancel.
Oh man, I love telling people to
you
quit.
know?
I tell people to quit on Facebook Lives. I'm like, look, just quit. It would be better for you to just be off the team than to be here annoying everybody
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the worst part is when you get decent at this and you understand personality colors, and these blue people who just want to be there for the social and they want to hang out and be part of the group, and but each person has their assets,
Mhm.
massive assets.
Yep.
Greens, y'all, I am a green. And I'm telling you right now, you're the worst. You are the worst. Just, I got to know all the details, and I got to want it. If I don't know anything, I can't tell anybody. And if I can't
Uh-huh. Yeah.
answer
Yeah.
questions and I can't, like, shut up. Like, that's why we have resources. You
Yeah.
don't have to say a word, just invite to a resource and ask them to get started. That's that's the game. Like for
Yeah.
in every company, I love, and we talked about last week, people jumping from company to company to do the exact same thing. Like,
Uh-huh. Yep.
where are you going? Like what is it you think you're going to do differently over here
Yep.
with this new brick that they got, with this new Lego? What, you think that Lego set ain't the same as this Lego set? You
Yep.
crazy people.
It's a hope and a prayer that someone's going to stick you at a top of a matrix somewhere,
Right.
and you're just going to make massive spill and millions of dollars by being in the right place at the right time,
That's
which
so
never
wild.
happens, by the way.
No. Oh my gosh. If you ain't going to come in and just develop, develop. You
Yeah.
stop. I wish that we could get this across in episode number 2. Why are you in a hurry? Like, I
Great
understand some
question.
people need money. I get
Yeah.
it. But do you need $10,000 a month that you've never made in your entire life in a year? You ain't ever made $10,000 a month in your lifetime. Why do you believe it's going to take you a year to get there? And you've never done this before.
Hmm.
You got to understand that you have to develop into this new person. And if you're doing this an hour a week, an hour a day, you have to understand time compounding. You have to do this a while to figure this out.
Hmm. Yeah. You got to give yourself the grace. You have to. And the best part is, you have the ability to do that. Everything that, and this is why again, there's so many cans that we could open up here, but I always boil it down to like finite, simple things. You have to, number one, you have to decide that you want to do it, so, and then, two, you got to realize like anything you want to learn. I love when people say, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. Like anytime I hear somebody say that, I was like, hang on a second. I was like, do you have one of these in your hand right now? You got it. You have a device. You're on the internet right now. You're on the interwebs, right? You have the ability to learn anything you want. So if you're going to use the lame ass excuse, sorry, not sorry for saying that, but if you're going to use the lame ass excuse of, I don't know how to do something, you might as well just say out loud, I'm lazy and I don't feel like learning. Because, like, you can create anything you want in your life, any result. You could be who, do, whatever it is that you want to have, you could do it. So keep it stupid simple. Do you want to do it? Yes or no? Build your confidence, practice daily, you know, always invest in yourself every single day. Do those things to get to the result. So stop overcomplicating that. I'm not salesy. I don't know how. I'm not good on camera. I'm not this. I'm not that. I don't know how. Like all that stuff is bullshit. Straight up, all that stuff is crap that you just tell yourself because you don't feel like doing it. Like keep it simple, guys. Like that's what it is. So if you want to learn how to invite properly to build a good team, if you want to learn how to recruit, call it what it is, call it inviting, call it recruiting. It's the same stuff. But if you want to learn how to get good at that stuff, then just go freaking do it. And some of the basic things are, you know, Eric Worre taught us this, right? If I would you, that's a great one. If I could show you something that could give you some extra income every single month, would you want to learn how to do that? Cool, here's my link, right? You could ask somebody something. You could post it. You could learn and practice that over and over again. A 4-point video formula, 4-point marketing formula that, is you for me has been used in every piece of content going back 4 or 5 years. Hook, build, like write the stuff down, guys. Like hook, build up, present value, call to action. Go back and watch the beginning of the video if you want to hear what it sounds like. Like learn some of these basic formulas and then practice them daily. Like, I don't know. I mean, Curry, what are there any other tangibles? Are there any other takeaways besides formulas that we could give people to understand selling versus recruiting, practicing daily?
Well, go back to the beginning of this with the selling versus recruiting. It comes down to the business is surrounded by a compensation plan. No matter what you believe about your company, you might have the greatest products, you might have the greatest services, you might have an unbelievable thing that is what people are attracted to at the beginning. But if you're in business, if you've decided to be an IBO, an independent business owner, a distributor, an affiliate, a network marketer, whatever, there's nothing else other than your compensation plan.
Mm-hmm.
You are essentially selling a path to this compensation plan. And that compensation plan has rules based on ranks and how you get to the next ranks. And each rank has an amount of money that you can make, an average in that rank. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn from an early stage. If I want to make $1,000 a month, I need to hit this rank. And so this rank says I need to have a team of X number of people. So you have to then do this calculation and make it your new life goal. I want to build a team of blah, 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 however many people it is.
Mm-hmm.
And when you figure this math problem out, that it's not that compensation plan does not say, I need to sell X number of products. I've never seen a compensation plan that specifically says for you to get to the top of a compensation plan, you need to go sell $1 million worth of PV. That's
Hmm.
never, they don't do that. They put in
Yep.
there like 200 PV and then a team of 85,000. I'm just making
Yeah.
a silly thing. So once you understand your every single company's got a compensation plan. Once you understand your comp plan a little bit, you don't got to know all the details. Just know where you want to go.
Yep.
Okay, I want to get to $1,000 a month. I remember being at a pool party in Florida at before an event, and I was talking to the owner of the company, and I was like, I want to get to $10,000 a month. And I have just surpassed, I don't know, I was just about $1,500 a month. I was just barely still kicking it. It was brand new. And he was like, well, if you made it to $1,000 a month, we're just going to redo that process 10 more times. Whatever it took you to get here, just do that 10 more times and you'll be at $10,000 a month. And I'm like, so I just got to put a couple more people in to do this a couple more times and just the process.
Hmm.
So just selling in these environments isn't, you'll burn out. You'll burn out fast.
Yeah. Yeah, true. And I think that's the basic assumption that most people have in network marketing or even maybe just making money online. I don't know, but especially when it comes to MLM, especially when it comes to network marketing, that you have to sell. And it's simply not the case. It's understanding the compensation plan and it's getting good at inviting or sharing. And then you just have to rinse and repeat that process. And we've all heard this from Bill Britt, the Amway guy who, the process is simple. I just shared. He even says it himself, right, in that meme or poster, whatever you want to call it. I just shared the opportunity with 1,200 people. 900 said no, 300 said yes. Out of those 300, in the math goes down, and it was like a handful of people, 5 people, whatever it was, made him a millionaire. Because he shared, he invited, he didn't sell. He didn't go, hey, do you want to buy my water bottle? And he sold 1 million water bottles to make $1 million. Like, no, he invited people to look at the opportunity. And that's all you're doing. And inviting people is literally just following a basic formula. Can you learn the basic formula? Yes. Can you have the confidence to turn around and go share the formula? Yes. Do you want to do that? Yes or no? Do you want to make X amount of dollars? Yes or no? Like, that to me is how simply as I look at it. Success in network marketing, success in home-based business, success in climbing up the ranks of the compensation plan, whatever the compensation plan is, and every company is different. It does not have to be complicated. So stop overcomplicating it. Stop making it like, oh my gosh, I just can't figure this crap out. Keep it basic and start at the lowest level and say, what do I got to get? What do I got to do to get to the next level? And then, another one that, and I'm sure again we could open up this can, but like when I have people that have a little bit of experience coming in, and it's not a lot of experience, people that have been in the network marketing industry for 10, 20, 30 years, they don't ask this question. The only people that ask this question are the people that think they know what they're doing because maybe they're on their second or third company and they're like, hey, what's the compensation plan? Can you send me the compensation plan? I'm like, why? You're not going to do anything with it. Like why? Why? Have you at least recruited more than 5 people in your life? No? Okay, then don't ask me about the compensation plan. It's at the end of the day, you just have to get out there and you have to start bringing people in. Like you said, Curry, it's like, hey, let me start with 100 or let me what, and the number doesn't have to be 100. It could be one. It could be two. It could be five. It could be whatever you want, but just don't overthink it too much and just go get started. Just go start inviting. Just go
But by
start
the way,
sharing.
the power of one is the most powerful, duplicatable message there is.
It's the biggest motivator.
It is in my book. My notes of every note I've ever taken in this industry on page one, on the cover, inside cover, it says the power of one.
Mhm.
Because if I can just go get one, and then we can help that person get one, over the next 12 months, you got like 700 people. It is unbelievable what happens if you're just duplicating with the power of one. So
Yep.
that is a beautiful, beautiful point.
Yeah. And then guess what? If you can get one, you can get another, you
Oh,
know?
and you do. You do. Oh,
You
it
know, it
once it gets in you, man, you can't stop. You can't. There's no way once it gets in you. It's like I'm gonna help everybody.
oh, it
Go ahead.
I've seen it over the years. And I had a woman the other day, and she got her first one after, I don't know what it was, a month or so. And I mean, and she was through the roof, like
Yeah,
through the roof, excited with joy. And now I don't know what it is, like a month later, I think she's got like three or maybe four. But like that one, like getting that one, it took her a month or two to maybe get that one. And then in a very short amount of time, with that drive, with that energy, that passion, that excitement, that wait,
confidence.
yeah, I was gonna say, wait for it, that confidence in her abilities, she turned around and very quickly got two, three, and four. So, it did it happen overnight? No. Did she learn the formulas? Did she practice the formulas? Did she practice inviting and sharing? She did. And then she got her one, you know?
That
So it's
and
just,
now that wonderful woman who just got excited. The harder part. The hardest part is always helping those next ones do what you just did.
yeah.
For some reason, that's the hardest part. And once you figure that out, your game is over. For the rest of your life, you just take a brand new person, get them to do what you just did. I love when people tell me, I just can't find anybody. And I'm like, somebody found you. And you can't just look at how they invited you. Go back to the message, go back to the text, go
Yeah.
back to the phone call, and look what they did and realize if they found you, you can find somebody. You're not special. No, I'm not
Yeah.
special. Dan's not special. We just are regular people that somebody invited once. And we decided this is something we want to do.
Mhm.
And we had to become who it is that we are now, boldly and confidently talking to the world about our passion. And we love it.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't ever at this, I can't tell you the last time somebody ever asked me if this is a pyramid scheme or is it a scam. I don't get those questions ever at this point because of the confidence and who it is that we've become. So when we're showing people, it is wild how your confidence in what it is that you're doing just completely changes other people's perspectives in the beginning.
Yeah. The PS words, I want to talk about that in a second. But, back to, going to get one. I think a lot of people, they forget how they got in. They forget what got them to the point where they're like,
It was 10 minutes ago, man. It was 10 minutes
yeah,
ago.
they forgot like how they got started. And talk about duplication. Talk about, a realization of duplication. Maybe make that note. Maybe comment that down below if you're watching this. Realization of duplication. How did you get here? How did you get on your team? Because what, you probably saw a post. Maybe you got an email. Maybe someone hit you up in Messenger. Maybe someone sent you a text. Whatever it was, remember, like, circle back to what that was. What specifically was the one thing? And, maybe study this. Maybe study that. Because if there was one thing that piqued your interest, that made you go get a little more information, then you learned a little more information, and then you got started, whatever that was, go find what that was and then turn around and go do it. Like, all this stuff, guys, you have the keys to the castle. You have the answers to the test right in front of you. whether it be here watching these podcasts, whether it be, in your organization from a leader, whatever it is, doing the internet searches, whatever, like you have the keys to the castle to go duplicate, to go build, to go share, to go invite. You have all that. You got to stop maybe overthinking that a little bit and go back and just kind of remember, make some notes, learn. And there's a great line from it was actually Earl Schoaf, who was Jim Rohn's teacher.
Yep.
And Earl Schoaf used to say, and I love this, and you guys can maybe, make this note, write this down, but think about this, please. And you can apply this to any areas of your life. Like, if you want to be wealthy, study wealth. Like, there's a concept, right? If you want to be healthy, study health. If you want to be happy, study happiness. Study people that are happy. Listen to podcasts. Plug into communities. Like all of this stuff. Like, if you want to be wealthy, study what the rich do. If you want to be a successful network marketer, study what other successful network marketers are doing. Again, like the answers are always out there right in front of you. Sometimes it's just so in your face that you're just not even seeing it. It's you always have the answers to the test right in front of you. I hope that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, they've created this term wisdom of the ages thinking for people who really grasp all these concepts from Jim, from Earl, from all the greatest minds who have come before us, already done it, gave us so many guides and so many one-liners and so many things. It's like you were talking about Eric earlier, and I Ray Higdon's a great influence in this industry. Great influence in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I have stolen one line of his that I use as my basis of existence.
Oh, I
Are
got one
you
line from him
open
too.
to? Are you open to? And
Yeah.
in every message I send, every email I write, it's the literal thing that I use to make a person say yes or no. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, are you open to? And it's like, once I grasped that 7 years ago, I have only done that. And
Yeah.
it's like I duplicate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's, wait for it, duplicatable. you
Oh,
know, it's a duplicatable skill set. And that's, back to what we're talking about here, like selling versus recruiting, like maybe make that note too. Duplicatable skill sets. Are you open to learning specific formulas, inviting? Like, these are all easily duplicatable skill sets that anybody can do. And, back to Ray Higdon, I was watching a video of his years ago. He was, whatever event he was at, and he said he talked about something that specifically changed his business. And he talked about an acronym called ILT: invest, learn, teach. You invest your time, sometimes money, maybe books, podcasts, courses, whatever it is. Invest your time, sometimes money. You learn something, and then you turn around and teach that to other people. And for whatever reason, at the time I was at in my network marketing journey, for whatever reason, it was just, when I heard that, it just, like, the light bulb went off, it clicked, and I was like, now that makes sense. So we're sitting here talking about, different things, selling versus recruiting and formulas and whatever. Like, sometimes you just got to hear one thing that stands out. Are you open to ILT? There's certain things in your journey that you hear that people can just take and kind of run with it. And for me, that was it. Like, I invested my time, whatever it is that I could learn, I recorded a video about it and I put it on my YouTube channel. And then over time, people would be like, "Oh, you're pretty straightforward. I understand what you're saying." And that kind of started the snowball effect. And I'm sure for you, Curry, it was the same thing. Are you open to? That also started a snowball effect, because that was kind of a, maybe call it a turning point, call it an aha moment, call it something that you just understood, but you took that and you ran with it.
it's funny that you said the ILT. We must have been watching the same exact thing because I was
Possible.
currently in a company at that time who Ray was part of at one time. And that company had kind of a closed culture mindset where if I came to an event and I took notes, they told you straight up front, don't share your notes with people who won't even come to events. Don't help your teams if they won't even plug into the system. Don't. And then I hear the ILT,
Hmm.
which meant why aren't I taking everything that I learn
Yeah.
and helping everybody that I can
Yeah.
in building something even bigger, taking this and just regurgitating. And that is exactly what Dan, Curry, every leader that you have ever watched walk a stage, uh, make a video, make content, nobody's got their own thing. We're all regurgitating everything we've learned from every other leader. And that's how we got here. We duplicated the
Hmm.
information that they gave us, and here we are.
Yeah.
Guys, I was a technician installing 911 centers. I don't have sales experience. I don't have recruiting experience. I don't have network marketing experience. I had to learn and
Dude, I
read.
stock shelves at a grocery store. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
you're an expert, Dan. You're the guy.
I know what happened. Because it all boils down to one thing. Back in, I don't remember the exact day, but it was about July of 2016, sitting down at a living room table with my wife, and I decided that I was going to figure this out. I decided that day, I vividly remember the day. I can picture it in my mind right now. I decided that I was going to do this. And then coming from a retail sales background, I spent my entire working career in retail sales, you know, literally a college dropout. And
Just
I
one
figured
time.
out how to do this. I figured out online marketing. I figured out formulas. I figured out how to invite, how to duplicate, how to build, how to grow, how to invest into myself. Figured all that stuff out because I had the interwebs at my fingertips and I decided to go learn it. And then I decided to go do it. And the rest is, as they say, history.
Well, I'm right there with you with the college dropout. I've dropped out of three because I can't
Well,
stand it.
you got me beat on
Instead,
that one.
I have dropped out of three colleges and threw a fit at every single one of them. I could not stand college.
Hmm.
But when I could control my own future and I was pointed to knowledge that I could follow and read and apply. This this has become it's so powerful. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Hmm.
It-
I would, you know what? It's funny. I use the word addiction.
oh,
It's like a, it's like an addiction to build teams, to build, create passive residual income.
the,
It's an addiction.
the word we really want to share maybe on a next couple future podcasts we talk about leverage.
Mm,
Leverage has been it, it is such a wonderful, wonderful thing when you receive money that just comes in because you've got leverage. And I got to tell you, I really enjoy money that I don't work for. You know what I mean? It's just like this
yeah.
magic flow of money that just shows up because 2 years ago, I invited four people, and that four people has turned into tens of thousands of people because we just kept sharing and sharing and inviting, and there was nobody. We were teaching people not to sell, just go share and just
Yeah.
go invite, and that's I think that's what we want everybody to get out of this podcast is stop thinking that you have to be in sales. This is not sales. Get
Hmm.
that in your head from the beginning.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And again, another one I literally have on my notebook. And by the way, anytime you guys watch something like that, anytime you guys are investing into yourself right now. ILT, you guys are investing into yourself and learning things. I mean, don't feel free to turn around and teach this stuff to other people too. Feel free to share this, but also, um, always, always, always another Jim Rohn line because I invested my time and learned Jim Rohn. Now I'm teaching that to you. Always learn to think on paper. Make that note. Learn to think on paper. Write stuff down, because when you write it down, you record it to memory more than versus just thinking about it. Because at some point you're going to forget. So you write it down, and I'm just writing down over here. I'm making my notes for Curry and I, and these are all the upcoming topic ideas that we have for episodes, 3 and beyond. And the more we do this, the easier it's going to be for us to be like, oh man, we got to do an episode on this. We got to do an episode on that. And I think leverage is a great one because right now in the niche market of making money online, there's the majority of people out there that I see, at least that are in my social feeds, are doing the course thing. They're selling courses, and it's like that could be cool for a quick buck, but if you truly understand leverage, and this is why, like, I could talk about this stuff for days, years. Leverage is something that isn't taught enough. It's something that most people don't understand. It's a thing that we're helping you hopefully right now break that mold, the pyramid thing and the MLM structure and all that other those bad stigmas that comes attached to that. It's such a beautiful, amazing, awesome industry that when you kind of peel back some of that bad stuff and you look at how amazing it is, like it is truly unbelievable. It is an addiction. And, the people that are out there that have that bad thought of, pyramid scheme, 99.9% of people that use that term don't even know what it means. They just use it because it's a cool little catchy catchphrase that, they're just trying to tear you down a little bit. But it's an amazing industry.
I do want to know how that phrase got passed down to millennials who never experienced the term ever in their life. And there's people who just know this word and will throw it out. It's like
It's a catchphrase. That's all it is.
it's a Ponzi scheme. We're dealing with investments. Are you crazy? What? It's like, why are you using words that don't even apply to the entire subject matter of the thing? Like you're just throwing words out.
Yep. No, it's for the dopamine hit. That's all. Again, when you boil it all the way down to why they really do it, it's for the dopamine hit, so people could like their comment and be, oh, you're so right. They're selling us. They're trying to sell us. It's like, yeah, you get sold every day, bro, on everything in life, no matter where you are, Netflix
But
or, commercials or whatever. But the whole point
but
is,
aren't you glad that they use words like that so we know who not to recruit? Like
yeah,
that's pretty great that we get to just immediately go, this ain't for you. Have a nice day.
yeah,
This is not for you.
yeah, they filter themselves out. It's a
They
beautiful
really
thing.
do. They just throw themselves right under the bus. Well,
And that,
enjoy.
you know what, on that topic, because this does tie into selling and recruiting, and this maybe will tie into what could be episode 3 here. A lot of people won't, which boils down to confidence. One simple thing. This boils down to confidence. Will not get involved or won't want to get involved because they feel salesy. They're worried about someone saying no, and they're worried about people throwing the term pyramid scheme at them. These are all the things that go through people's mind of why they don't want to do this, because they don't want to feel salesy. They don't want to, have people say no and have people like, oh, that's a pyramid scheme. And it's like, oh, maybe it is a pyramid scheme. It's like, whoa, nope, that's just in your head, bro. So it's, I think a great segue into potentially next week's, episode is talking about, the going for no and not being afraid of what could get thrown at you, what could come your way by taking what we're talking about today, inviting, sharing. What comes after that, right? What comes after that? People either saying, yes, I'm open to more information, or no, it's not for me. And then what do you do with that? You know, I don't know about you, Kurt. I think that could be a good segue into next week.
It's one of my favorite topics in the whole world. So I would love to jump into going for no. They even put me on a magazine with the cover phrase "fearlessly chasing the word no."
Yeah.
So I love hearing no a lot. Go ahead, tell me no. Please tell me no. Please, please go ahead. I would love it. I would love it if you would give me some dumb objection that just makes no sense at all, that you just have in your own head. Just
Yep.
please, just tell me.
It's it's interesting, man, because in the industry here, like when you do share that information, and we'll get more into this in another episode, probably next week. Like some people are going to get it, some people are not going to get it, some people are going to ask you a million questions, and then the filtration process starts. I love, and I'm sure Curry loves this too, when you share the information with people, they watch a presentation, and then they're like, "Where do I sign? Ready to go." Like there's no better feeling than that. It's just awesome. And then it'll whittle down. You'll get maybe one question, maybe a couple, someone that has 10 questions, someone that has, you know what, I cannot make a decision until we get on the phone. Please call me. Get that a lot. Or you just get the flat out no, or pyramid scheme, or you suck, you're a scammer. Like you filter down like so many different responses after you share the information. So it's, you know, I think that's where we'll go next week, my friend.
That sounds really good, man. That sounds really good. These are fun. I really am enjoying that you invited me to this
I
idea.
shared
I
it. I
love it.
invited you here.
You did. But by the way, my favorite story, even about myself in this journey, I was invited by one guy to see a thing in 2012, and I said no. I said, no, I ain't for me. I don't need that thing. I don't want that. No. He literally followed up for the same thing in 2014, and I said yes
Hmm.
because I was at a time where I needed that thing. It was like that is something I didn't even know I joined a business.
Yeah.
And boy, when I figured out I could make money, we changed the world. So this is you don't know. You don't know who's going to follow up. Is there's a fortune in the follow up, because I've made some people a lot of money for them just inviting me.
Yeah. And that's, one of my mentors, one of the guys that I still work with to this day, always says, especially when you're recruiting and you're talking to someone with potential, we'll just look at it that way. You never know when someone's having a bad day. You never know when someone's ready. Um, and no doesn't mean never. It just means not now. So you never know. You never know until you ask. But if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Always.
Yeah. Gretzky, gotta love the guy, even though, shout out to Ovechkin. But, you know, Gretzky always says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Truth.
100%. That's
Yeah. But anyway, coming up on the hour, you got a flight to catch. So appreciate you guys for watching. This is episode 2. This is Two Dudes Talking. For Curry Russell, DK here with you. Appreciate you guys being here. Be sure to go ahead, smash that subscribe button, hit the like button, and drop a comment down below if you got value from this video. And we will see you, my friends, on episode 3. Take care.